Hello everyone, welcome back in our Python session. So yesterday what we learned about Pandas series and Pandas data frame, how to create them and how to do some methods on that. So we'll continue our journey on Python and we'll go further. So Python is basically a powerful package that allows you to write and to read different formats of the file. So if your file is in Excel format or CSV format or HTML format or any other format, then you can read it and even you can write your data into that file as well. So what is the syntax to do that? So you write in the when you read different files, when you want to write the file, you write your data frame, what data frame, what table you had, then you convert it with the method to file type. Like for example, if you are creating a CSV file, then you will write to and then underscore and CSV. If you are making an Excel file, then you write to underscore Excel and in parenthesis you write file name or file path if you want to save that file into a particular folder, right? To read the file, if you got a file in Excel format or in CSV or in PDF format, then what you do is you call PD, because whenever you want to work in Pandas you have to import Pandas as PD. Then if you are importing it as PD, then write PD, otherwise write Pandas dot read underscore and the file type same as you worked with to. So read underscore CSV or read underscore Excel or read underscore JSON or read underscore HTML. So basically you write the type of the file and then in parentheses again, if it is saved in a folder, particular folder, then the path of that folder with file name. Otherwise, if the file is saved in the same folder where you are working with your notebook, then just write your file name here in quotes. There are different methods to read and write different formats of the file. Just go through with this table, and there is also description why you use these methods, right? So here, if to work with pandas, first what we do, we import our panda library. Then here I have a CSV file named nba.csv, and it is saved in a folder names files, name file. And this folder, that's why there is a folder name, then file name. So it's a path to access the file content to get the file. This file is in CSV, that's why it is here CSV. So here pd.read CSV, and then data frame has been created with the name data. So when I want to see the data, I just write data, and when I run it, you can see all the numbers, all the columns and rows in that. And here in the end, you can see there are 458 rows and 9 columns, right? So you will see your data frame in a tabular form. So here actually you can see or you can define how many rows and columns you want to see in one go when you type your data. By default, it always shows first 5 rows and last 5 rows, and rest it will show by dot 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 in the middle part of the data frame. But you can define this option how many number of rows you want to print with pd.options.display. So this is a display option to show maximum number of rows, right? So when you print this, if the row has more than 60 rows, then it will show 60, because this row has 458 rows, this table has. So it is definitely more than 60. So maximum number what it shows 60. If it's showing 60, that means this table has more than 60 rows. And if you want to show whole data frame in one go, what you can do, you can increase your number of display by writing the same code pd.options.display.max rows equals to, then you define a particular number, how many rows you want to see in one go. Here I want to see 999 rows, but because this is 458 rows, so what will happen here, if I read the file again and print my data, it will show whole data in one go. Right, so you can see your whole data frame until 457, that is the 458 row, because row index starts with 0. Right, to see first 5 rows, if you just want to see first 5 rows, just header rows, you use head function, head method. So with data frame data dot head, what it will do, it will print first 5 rows from the data frame. So you can see what columns is there, what values are there. If you want to see like not 5 but 3 2 rows, then you can define, or maybe 10, you can define that number inside head function as an attribute, and you will get that number of rows that you pass in the head function. So here I pass 3, so that's why I'm getting 3 rows here. If you pass 10, it will show 10 rows there. Same tail function, but tail function, what does it do? As its name suggests, it will show last 5 rows. So if I run it, by default, it will show last 5 rows. But as we did with head, if you give an argument, a number in there, then it will show last rows according to that number. So here is 2, so it means it will show last 2 rows to me, right? If you want to see how many rows and columns are there in the data frame, you can use shape attribute. When you run this, it will show 458 rows and 9 columns are there, right? To check the type, which type of data it is, which type of variable it is data, if you run it, if you don't know, if you're working with a large file and you found out, oh, what variable it is, what kind of data it is carrying, then you can use type keyword, and in the parentheses you give that variable, then it is showing, oh, it's pandas data frame basically, right? So it shows what type of variable it is. If you want to see just columns in the data frame, you, there is a huge data and you don't know what is inside it, what columns are it is carrying, what kind of data it is carrying, so you can extract just column names with column attribute data frame dot columns. If I run it, so you can see all 9 columns are here with index. You can check what index it is carrying. So the starting number is 0 and the last number is 458, and it is step 1. So there is no missing data. Every there is 458 index, and it is going one after another. There is no skipping step is there. To check information about data frame, what kind of information? Like info function provides you all the details in one go, that is how many rows and columns are there, what are the column names, what kind of data type values that column carries, and how many values, it means how many rows in each column are there. So if you run that data.info, that means data frame.info function, it will show you it's a data frame. First, what type of variable it is, then range of index, that means there are 458 rows entries from 0 to 457. Then it is showing number of columns, total 9 columns. What columns are there? Name, team, number, position, age, height, weight, college, and salary. These are 9 columns, which has 457 rows. But in college, there is 373 rows. So what you can see here, some data is missing here because this figure is not matching with this figure. And same in the salary column as well. There are 446 rows. There is also some data missing from here. You can check data type. So name has object data type, team has object data type, number has float, position has object, and so on. So you can check how many columns has float data types. There are 4 columns. And how many columns has object data type? That means 5 columns. And it's using your memory space 32.3 plus kp. Right. So memory it is using. So by info function you can get all the information about your data frame. There is also statistical information where you get your minimum value, maximum value, standard deviation, and your 25 percentage, 50, and 75 percentage, and all. You got all the statistical information by describe function. So if you run it, you will see in number there is the count, rows count is 457. In salary it's 456. Mean, standard deviation, minimum number 25%, 50%, 75%, maximum number is there. So by this you get an idea, like, okay, minimum value of this is 0 and maximum value it is 99. So you get an idea about your data frame. Describe function works with numerical data only. If you run even all, it will show nan value for object data. So it works on numerical data. So now here we will learn how to select columns from data frame. So for one column, like if you want to access just one column, you just give column name. Sorry. Yeah. So for just to access one column, you give column name. That is the name. So this is the first column. You can see here column name. If I run this, what you will get? You will get all the name values, all the column details in there. What values it has. Right? If you want to access more than one column, then there should be 2 square brackets. It should be covered in 2 square brackets. And then you give all column names you want to access data. If you run it, you will get name, team, and college, all the selected columns that you want to see. If you use 1 square bracket, it will take column as series. So if you check by type, you will run, you can see it's series. So this data values you can treat as series, so you can use all the attributes and method that works with series. I have explained you series in previous video. And if you use double square brackets, then if you check the data type, it is a data frame. So if you want to work on series, you use single square bracket. If you want to work on data frame, you use double square brackets, right? If you want to check first 5 rows of particular column, you access that column first and then use head method with that. So it works here as well. Now, if you want to see last 5 rows, you use tail method as we did with head. To select rows, we use indexing and slicing. So here we want first 2 rows. So you can use that like square brackets as well. Here, if you want to extract data from 4th row to 8th row, you can do like this as well. If you want to select particular column and particular rows, so first you select the column and then you give row numbers in a square bracket. And when you run it, you can see that your position on fifth and sixth row is this, right? You can select multiple columns as well with selected row as well. So here I have selected number, position, and age with column with row number 4, 5, and 6. If I run this, you can see 4, 5, 6 row with number, position, and age column, right? So you can extract particular selected data by indexing and slicing data frame as well. There is also one more indexing way, that is location based indexing, and that we use with Loc and iloc method. So here we use loc with dataframe.loc and iloc with dataframe.iloc. So here in this example, you can see that what I'm getting with loc method is I'm giving data frame with loc method and giving number 3 in square brackets. That means I want to get the details of third row. So if I run this, I will get all the details of third row. Its name, team, number, position, age, height, weight, college, salary, and it is showing me that it's a third index number and data type is object. So with loc method also I can index, or we can index rows from data frame. Here, if to get details from multiple rows, you slices as you did before, you use loc method, and inside square brackets you pass that sliced value, like from second index to fourth index. You want all the values. So if you run this, you get the data frame with the index value from 1 to 4, that is second, third, fourth, and fifth index values you will get, right? So you get all the rows that we give in loc method in square brackets. So here basically the locate method, the LOC method, allows us to classifiably locate each and every row, column, and fields in the data frame in a precise manner. This method is applied in two ways. First technique, we locate it by specific index value. And in the second technique, we gave couple of rows are sliced by mentioning those index values in the LOC method. If there is any confusion, please write me in the comment box so I'll explain you more with more examples to make it easier for you. If you want to access more than one row, then sometimes you give it in double square brackets as well. So I'll explain you further. Here you can set index as well. If you don't want index value 1, 2, 3, you can set index by any column name. So here I want my name column as an, I want to treat it as an index, rest as value. So what I'm giving here, I'm giving that column name here, and in place true. What it will do, if you do in place equals true, so it becomes permanent change in data frame. So if I run it, you can see now name column has become index, and that index numbers are gone. So now if you want to access rows by index name, that is the name here, by the name of all the persons, then you write the name and you will get that person's details here. So you can access by index object, not number, object index as well. You can access rows. If you want to get a particular column and particular row, then you separate it by comma. First you give row, and in the second argument you give column name. So I want details of Mark Brown, and I want to see his position. Just that. So if I run this, then it will show me the value in the position, because this is the index value. So it will not show me index value, it will show me the value of in the column. Right. So now here, if I want to see multiple rows, so to access multiple rows, what we do, we use double square brackets. So here I'm giving two row names, that is Mark Brown and Henry Sims. If I run it, you can see you will get details of both the names, both the row name, because index is showing the main name or ID, you can say, of this row. This is unique names. And here if I want to select multiple row and multiple column, again in double square brackets. So here in one square bracket I will show row with comma separation, in second square bracket I will show column name. So I want to know Mark Brown and Henry Sims, in which team they are and what position they are. So if I run it, you will get those particular details of them. So with LOC method, you can access lots of rows and columns, selected rows and columns from there. With iLoc method, what it does, it is very similar to loc method but uses integer locations. Here you don't pass the name of your location, you pass numbers of your location. Like for example, I just want second row value. So you will get second row value. You want from row 4th to 7th. So you will get 4, 5, 6, 7 row details here. So you don't give a particular name. For example, if their row value, index value is different, it doesn't matter what index value they have. In the order they are mentioned here, it will take just that fourth row to seventh, up to seventh row, it will print you there. But with loc method, it will look for the same index, the name you have mentioned, the index value you have mentioned, and that particular index value it will give you. But with iLoc, it will just print you, if it's in the random number it is, it doesn't matter, it will just go on fourth row and then will print you fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh row to you. Now you can reset index value. Do you remember we set index as name? Now we want to reset index, and again we are using in place true. That means it will be permanent change. So if you work further, it will be the same. So now the numbers are back here, and name has become value column here, not index. And if I want to locate these rows 10, 15, 20, 25, you can give this way as well. Don't need to slices, you can index, you can use different numbers as index numbers as well. So you will get 10th, 15th, 20th and 25th row details here. If you want particular column, if it's a single argument, then you give without a square bracket, because I'm using slice method. So it will be like that. If you want to get particular columns, then you give in a square brackets if it's more than one argument here, by separating comma. So here you will get all the rows and columns. I hope you understand it. If there is any confusion, any doubt, please write me in the comment box and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't seen our previous videos, there is a link in description box. That's the link of the playlist where you get all Python videos from beginner to till now. And there is also GitHub repository link that there you will find all the exercises that we covered in videos. If you need more exercises to practice, please write me in the comment box and I'll try to provide you more exercises to practice. So keep learning, keep practicing. And if you like my video, don't forget to press like button and also to subscribe it. And if you want notification for my next video, please press bell icon as well. Till then, keep learning. See you next time.